So here's the cone we're going to be working on. Now I'm going to be using both the pencil tool and also the uh, pink marker. If I do it in pink, it is just for reference. It is not for you to draw. All right. So first I'm going to make an upside down T, like there, something like that. Or like the fighter ship from Star Wars. It's really cool. And I'm going to make two lines that are the same distance away from the center. And you can use like your pencil to gauge. I can see just by looking at this that I did a really poor job making these the same distance. Yeah, that's better. So you want those two lines to be the same distance from the center point right there. Now, you should be drawing this lightly because you will have to erase almost all of this. Yeah, pretty much all of it. So, lightly. I'm also going to do some lines here. Now this is going to basically be the same deal as the cylinder. Like if we were going to do, the whole line thing up here and lines going down, it's the cylinder. But we're not doing that part. All right, so I should have something that looks kind of like a TIE fighter, right? TIE fighter? Then I can use the same deal as we did for the cylinder to make our ellipse. Should look like a football shape. Should be pointy at the corners. So you don't want it to be just a big old circle. And then you get to decide how tall you want your cone to be. I could say I want it to be this, but I feel like that's going to be kind of a squish cone. So I'm going to go up here. And all I have to do is make lines from the points to the top. Now, we're going to want this sitting on the ground. So we're going to want to erase this part. Now, I had a couple of people that didn't erase the entire ellipse. You either, if it's in the sky floating and you're underneath it, you would want to leave both smiley and frowny lines. But because we're wanting to be above it looking down, we erase all but the smiley line. So it should look like a slice of pizza. And you might be going, that was a whole lot of work to make a slice of pizza picture. But what's really great about it is you get a solid looking cone. It should look symmetrical and clean and all that. You can, if you really don't like that, can just draw an ellipse and then that. But I feel like the other way is nice. All right. Now, once you have this all set, we're going to work on the cast shadow, which basically is just a pointy thing coming off the side like this. Now that's because if you think about the point right here, this goes down and casts a shadow, and each of these edges are just the edges of the cone. Okay, let's get rid of all that pink stuff. There we go. All right. Now, the way that we divide up this cone to make it all, value-y, you want to make obviously the shadows the darkest area. And then don't draw these. Again, they're the pink lines, so you don't draw this. This is just for educational purposes. But we have 2, so that's going to be kind of light. 1, which is the highlight. Oh yeah, the sun's still coming from the same direction. 2, it gets kind of light, but not the highlight. 3, darkest area. And then 4 gets lighter again. So that should basically be like, oh, that's exactly what we did with the cylinder. Now notice up here, they get closer together. So it's kind of like you took a slice of pizza and really, really, really made a bunch of thin slices. They go to a point at the very top. They're not straight up and down lines. They slowly taper all to the same point. That is super important, and lots of people don't do that. So that's why I said it out loud. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing my 5 values. So this is going to be the darkest value right here. Get ourselves a 5. All right, so fill that in nice and solid. Dark as you can. All right. Then I'm going to fill in the 3 area. Now again, I'm going to start from the tippity top and work my way down. As I go down, it's going to get wider, just like, you know, the cone. The cone's getting wider. So I want to make sure it's the tippity toppity. Then, oh, Mrs. Trombley, we're recording. I can't say hi to you. Okay, so this is the 3 value. So it's really dark. It's the darkest part on the shape, but it's you know, not as dark as the drop shadow. And again, notice there's space on both sides of that 3 area. Because I need to then do the 4 area, right? And it gets skinnier as it gets higher up. So it's wider at the bottom and skinnier at the top. All right, so then I'm going to start doing the 4 area, which is the reflected light. So I'll put some value in there. It's going to be lighter than the 3 area. All right. This is what I just did was the 4. So again, this is the darkest area, and then the 4 area is lighter than the 3, but it's going to be darker than the 2 and the 1. And again, you can always go darker. It's way easier to just add more than it is to go back and try to erase. So I'm going to kind of leave this a little lighter. Now I'm going to work on the 2 areas. So that's going to be this area and this area. So basically, I just avoid this whole area of the cone. So I'm going to lightly put some light value in here. Again, it's wider at the bottom and getting pointy at the top. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So it needs to be wide at the bottom, pointy at the top. If you don't do that, it just looks like a slice of pizza with weird toppings. You want it to slowly get teeny tiny. All right, now I can go back in, maybe darken it. The 4 area should be darker than the 2, so I'm going to darken that a little more. Maybe adjust to the base of this so it's more coney-like. Just do a little touch-ups. Make sure when you're doing that everything's blended. You shouldn't see any like boundaries between the light and the dark areas. It should just be a slow gradation. It goes from light to dark. All right. Now the final step in making this super duper fun is draw yourself a horizon line. So it looks like it's on a something. I don't know. Maybe it's a space station on the surface of Mars. You could do like mountains in the background, like that. That could be kind of cool. Maybe like a satellite dish over here. Beep, 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 beep. Right, satellite dishes. That's still a thing. Beep, 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 beep. And let's give it out. Maybe there's like a planet over here. Oh, that looks fun. You know, just add whatever you want to it. And have yourself a good old time.